How area beaches are preparing for Hurricane Michael. Plus, we'll hear from Governor Rick Scott about the preparations everyone should make ahead of that hurricane, even if you're not in its direct path. And a prowler caught on camera, and residents of this Suncoast neighborhood say it's not the first time. What homeowners plan to do about it. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC7 News at 11.
Good evening. Our top story tonight, Hurricane Michael's path toward the Florida Panhandle. You're looking live at Apalachicola in the Florida Panhandle, where they are preparing for a possible direct hit. Governor Rick Scott has declared a state of emergency in 35 counties. We'll hear from him in just a little bit in our show. But first, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan and a look at our first alert forecast in that latest track of Hurricane Michael. Bob.
Getting a look at the satellite imagery right now, you can see the system is getting better organized. In fact, it's starting to develop an eye now. It is in the Gulf of Mexico, and it is expected to continue to intensify. The story is the information has just come out. It is gaining strength as it continues to do so. The pressure is lowering, and it appears to have an eye now, with deep convection developing all around the eastern edge, northern edge, and even into the western edge, indicating that the shear or the strong winds in the upper levels of the atmosphere are no longer present. At least it's a moderate now, and this continues to strengthen and will do so throughout the day on Tuesday, eventually becoming a major hurricane by late Tuesday. Now you can see the winds now at 90 miles an hour, gusts up to 115. There's nothing really to stop this system from gaining strength. The water temperatures are warm out ahead of it. On top of that, the shear is lessening, and conditions are becoming a little bit more favorable for this to strengthen. As we said, 3 by tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock, it should be a Category 3. At this point, the winds will start to veer more to a west or at least southwesterly wind flow, which we'll start to see a little bit more onshore flow, but all day tomorrow we'll see that east to southeasterly wind making landfall up near the Panhandle, near Panama City or possibly even Apalachicola. It has shifted a little bit to the left tonight, and then eventually on into southwestern portions of Georgia near Albany, not as a 3, but more than likely as a tropical storm there. You can see, though, it's going to be a devastating storm, with storm surge being the big problem, especially in Appalachia Bay, with the possibility of life-threatening storm surge here. The hurricane warnings remain in effect from, again, Swanee River all the way up through the Panhandle of Florida, all the way to the Alabama and Florida border. We are still under the tropical storm watch. Another good sign is that the National Hurricane Center has not lifted this and put it up into a warning at this point. So this is a tropical storm watch, meaning there's a potential there, but it's not guaranteed and it's not definite at this point. And that includes the waters off of Sarasota County and also Anna Maria Island northward through Tampa Bay. Well, we have high pressure to the east of us, and we have this trough in the jet stream out west. These are the two driving forces, and it doesn't appear that this is going to deviate to the right or left as it makes its way into the Gulf of Mexico. So that's a good sign. It's not going to take a hard right to the state of Florida, and it's not going to move off to the west that much either. As this high pressure will weaken and this trough moves in, it will start to move it more toward the northeast, toward the Panhandle of Florida. Again, this coincides with all the different forecast models. There's no real outliers there, so no concern for this to turn in our direction, but we will still experience periods of showers and storms here with a minimal storm surge of maybe 1 to 3 feet across some of the barrier islands. It will cause some coastal flooding and rip currents as well, with high surf advisory in effect. We'll have more on our forecast for Tuesday and Wednesday as this system continues to track in the Gulf. Jacqueline?
All right, Bob, thank you. Governor Rick Scott warning residents of the Panhandle and the Big Bend region to prepare now for the impact of that rapidly developing hurricane. Michael expected to bring storm surge, rains, flash flooding, and possibly tornadoes, as Bob mentioned. Scott is reminding Floridians how dangerous this storm can be.
This storm will be life-threatening and extremely dangerous. Impacts from wind, rain, and storm surge could begin tomorrow night. This means in 36 hours.
Governor Scott asking President Trump to declare a pre-landfall emergency for Florida in preparation of that storm. Now, this declaration will provide important resources from the federal government, as well as free up any funding sources for emergency protective measures. The pre-landfall declaration request is for 35 Florida counties, including Manatee, Pinellas, and Hillsborough counties. All government offices in those counties will be closed tomorrow through Thursday. Well, here on the Suncoast, people are keeping a close eye on the storm as Hurricane Michael makes its way up the Gulf Coast. One of the biggest concerns is beach erosion. ABC7's Rick Adams joins us live now from Lido Beach, near the Pavilion area, with how that beach area is being protected. Rick?
Yeah, Jacqueline, good evening. Erosion is always a big problem here. These sandbags are here to help.
This hurricane, yeah, I would think the erosion would be the biggest problem.
Roger Irati has lived on Lido Key for 14 years. He's happy to see the city of Sarasota protecting Lido Beach from hurricanes and other storms with these huge sandbags known as trap bags. Lido has been experiencing severe erosion for quite some time now.
This is hopefully temporary until they get going with the replenishment of the sand.
Back in August, 500 tons of sand had been placed in these 4-foot-high bags on the beach in front of the dunes, and another 500 tons in front of the Lido Pavilion and pool area, with the hopes of preventing further erosion and protecting the facilities. On Longboat Key, they are offering free sand in bags at the Broadway Street entrance to the beach. Also, parts of the northern end of the town had just been renourished last month with new sand, which town officials say will help with whatever Hurricane Michael brings to the Sun Coast.
Part of that was to help protect some of the private properties there in that location. We did it during storm season knowing that if we had a storm, we wanted to make sure we had some additional sand in that area. So I think that positions us well for this event.
Officials from the town of Longboat Key, the city of Sarasota, and other communities here on the Sun Coast say they will continue to monitor Hurricane Michael and decide if anything more will have to be done to protect their residents and their beaches. And for the latest on Hurricane Michael, you could keep it here or log on to our website at mysuncoast.com. Reporting live from Lido Beach this evening, I'm Rick Adams. Jacqueline, back to you.
Rick, thank you. Manatee County Public Works crews are giving out sandbags to residents tomorrow at 3 locations around the county. You can pick them up from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow at G.T. Bray Park, Bennett Park, and the Bradenton Area Convention Center. You are allowed to fill 10 bags per household and must show an ID to prove that you're a resident. In other news tonight, a janitor working at a Charlotte County high school has been arrested after police say he showed a student pornography in a school hallway. Here's what we know so far tonight. Police say the janitor, 72-year-old Lawrence Williams, approached the student as he returned to class, where he allegedly showed several videos to that student of adults taking part in sexual activities. He also asked the student to help him send the videos to a friend. Police say the student told Williams that he could not help, and Williams then told him not to tell anyone. Williams was arrested and charged with showing obscene material to a minor. A Sarasota family is sharing a frightening video. They say someone was trying to break into their home while they were sleeping. It all happened in the Bent Tree neighborhood. A woman carrying a backpack caught on surveillance camera in the early morning hours. The woman looking through their window before walking away. Now, a number of residents have called in about this type of activity, and the community association confirms this is not the first time this has happened. Residents say this situation is pretty scary.
Because I got 2 kids. I got a 15-year-old and a 16-year-old, you know, and yeah, I worry about that because people coming around, you can't see them at night.
I moved here because it is quiet, and that's one reason I'm thinking about a security system outside.
The vice president of Bent Tree's Homeowners Association, Rich Roberts, says this is not the first time this sort of thing has happened. Roberts says the sheriff's office has been notified, and the association has even contracted a private security firm to help identify this person. We're learning more about the 16-year-old teenager who was killed in a crash early Saturday morning. Deputies say Jashad Spicer was in a car that led them on a miles-long pursuit before crashing. It all started on 7th Avenue West in Bradenton. A deputy says he saw a car parked with its headlights off. Then 4 black males got inside. When the deputy tried to pull them over, they sped off, leading police on a pursuit that ended in a crash on 11th Avenue West. The driver then ran away. 3 others were detained, and 16-year-old Jashad Spicer was killed immediately. His family says he had never been in trouble before and was aspiring to play in the NFL.
All he wanted to do is go to college after this. That's why he did basketball. That's why he did football, to make it easier because his mom has 4 kids.
Deputies say they have since learned that that vehicle was stolen. All juveniles are charged with burglary and grand theft auto, with possible further charges for the driver. Investigators on the scene of that deadly limousine crash in upstate New York say the impact was so severe it will take longer than normal to positively identify all of the victims. Tonight, families who've lost loved ones coming together trying to make sense of how a 30th birthday celebration in a rented limo could have ended so tragically. ABC's Maggie Ruley has the latest.
Amazing grace. A vigil Monday night for the 20 souls lost on Saturday.
My heart breaks as I think of all the lives that never will be the same.
The investigation into the horrific crash now concentrating on the vehicle, its driver, and the small company called Prestige Limousine and its checkered history. New York's Governor Cuomo pointing out several red flags. The driver was not properly licensed. The limo failed inspection just a month ago, and the company has been told to cease operations for now. The NTSB and state police investigating, trying to piece together the reason why the 2001 stretched Ford Excursion blew through a stop sign at a T intersection, impacting with such force the engine block ended up in the driver's compartment with no signs of skid marks.
I want to point out that like today and yesterday on Saturday it was misting. A damp road could perhaps mitigate any skid marks.
Inspectors examining the mangled limo's data recorders, mechanical systems, as well as the road itself, which has a history as a danger spot. They'll also look into the driver's record, conducting an autopsy to see if drugs or alcohol were factors.
We'll determine if there's any criminal culpability on the part of anyone. If there is, we'll hold them accountable for it.
That limo filled to capacity with friends and family on their way to a 30th birthday party for the youngest of four sisters, Amy Steenberg, who also just got married. All four sisters, along with three of their husbands, killed in the crash. Maggie Bruley, ABC News, New York.
New at 11, Google is shutting down its Google Plus social network. The company taking heat for not disclosing a security problem to the public. About 500,000 accounts could have been affected back in May, but Google says no evidence was found that information was misused. No word on when exactly Google Plus will be officially shut down. Well, straight ahead, Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast and the latest track on Hurricane Michael. Plus, almost 30 Cubans on a raft land in Florida over the weekend. What authorities say will likely happen to them. And everything you need to know ahead of tomorrow's voter registration deadline.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP is the largest locally owned CPAP supply company in the area. Is it time to replace your old equipment? The staff at Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP can show you the most up-to-date CPAP equipment and supplies to meet your sleep apnea needs, including portable travel devices and the SoClean automatic CPAP sanitizer. We serve all of Southwest Florida, giving the highest quality of care with the finest CPAP equipment. Please visit our website, sarasotacpap.com.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
My California Closets designer is a rock star. She was able to design the most beautiful space for me. When I turn the lights on, it's breathtaking. La! It's just a little slice of organized heaven. The California Closet team was so professional, so reliable. It was seriously a dream come true. My name is Jill, and this is my California Closet story.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blog, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. Find out first at 4 with ABC7 News at 4, weekdays on ABC7.
Bob, well, you are busy over there in the First Alert Weather Center monitoring Hurricane Michael.
Yeah, I really feel badly for the folks up in the panhandle of Florida. This is going to be a devastating storm. A major Category 3 looks like is going to make landfall, and it's going to be strengthening as it moves in, which is devastating. And also storm surge, something that they haven't really seen too much of lately, is going to be a big issue. As far as we're concerned, we're doing pretty good here. A high pressure off the east coast of Florida and the southeast United States is going to weaken a little bit, but not enough to allow Michael to turn into our coast. It's going to be well north of our area before it starts to make that break to the northeast, and that is going to be saving us. That high pressure ridge and also the timing of this trough that is actually diving here over the west United States is actually going to move closer to this, and as it does so, you'll start to see a little bit more of a bend to the northeast once it gets north of our latitude. And looks as though the center of the storm could make landfall near Panama City over to Apalachicola, but right now those are the places that it may be by Wednesday, right around noon hour, right around the noon hour. That's what it appears to be now. This high pressure, as I said, will weaken a little bit and allow this to take a northeasterly turn later on into Wednesday evening. Well, here's the latest, 90-mile-an-hour winds now. This thing really has gained some strength just in the last 24 hours, and gusts are up to 115. The pressure has been falling, and the reconnaissance aircraft continues to fly into the system to get better data, to get a more accurate reading as to how intense this is going to be. But right now it appears it's going to be at 3 as it makes landfall, and that's a major storm, which does cause structural damage. Also, the storm surge is going to be very significant near the center and to the right of the center. And all this here in Apalachee Bay is just going to be piling up with water in advance of the storm. Luckily, it's going to be a little bit faster moving as it moves closer to the coast there, and that means it may spare them the extreme storm surge, but still life-threatening storm surge expected. As far as our chances of getting tropical storm force winds, they remain pretty much the same at 20% to 30%. 20% in South Sarasota County, 30% in Manatee County, with the exception of the island there. There's a better than 30% chance of getting some tropical storm force winds there. We may still see tropical storm force winds with the bands that move through, these rain bands that will be moving through. Right now our winds are out of the east, and that means mainly offshore flow, so there's not a big problem with any kind of surge right now or any kind of coastal flooding. I think that happens more so late tomorrow night and into Wednesday during high tide. The forecast, it'll be a breezy day tomorrow, and the winds will pick up near some individual showers and storms, which are expected to move through. Not everyone's going to see that rain, but when these bands move through, you'll feel it. And by Wednesday morning, winds still out of the south and southwest, anywhere from 20 to 25 miles an hour, gusts as high as 30, and that will pile the water on. As far as the forecast goes, this is our in-house model showing some of those bands making their way through on Tuesday and even into Wednesday. As this thing starts to turn to the right, we'll start to see more of those banding features set up, and we could see some training effect. Rainfall amounts 1 to 2 inches, maybe 3 in some isolated areas. A definite problem with rip currents. There is also a possibility of isolated tornadoes and not much of a chance of damaging winds in terms of sustained winds. Tides upcoming, these are the two tides that are concerning: 108 on Wednesday morning and then again at 228 on Wednesday afternoon. As far as the forecast goes, we are looking for a few brief showers overnight. Not a lot of activity, but I think more so tomorrow as the system gets closer to us. It's still a long way away. In fact, from Key West, it's over 200 miles to the west-southwest. So here's the 7-day forecast then. 70% chance for scattered showers and a few thunderstorms. Temperatures will stay into the mid-80s. Rain chances staying high on Wednesday for that scattered activity. Even on Thursday, then we get back to the easterly flow. Weekend looking pretty good with a 30% chance for showers mainly in the afternoon. Jacqueline?
All right, Bob, thank you. The commission investigating the Parkland High School massacre is postponing this week's scheduled meeting because of Hurricane Michael. The Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Public Safety Commission announced today that this week's 3-day hearing will be rescheduled to an undetermined date. Some members are law enforcement, education, and state officials from the Florida Panhandle, where the storm is forecast to make landfall by Wednesday. This week's meeting had been highly anticipated because the schedule promised testimony from Scott Peterson, the sheriff's deputy who did not rush into that building as the gunman killed 17 people in February. Well, 27 migrants from Cuba came ashore in South Florida last night. The U.S. Coast Guard said some of them were children. U.S. Border Patrol arrested 15 people, but some may have gotten away. One witness said they traveled for many days in a homemade wooden boat.
When we get there, there's like 20, 30 people inside the boat and they're all getting out. People have been out there for 8 days. It wasn't old. It wasn't a boat. You would think, you're like, oh my God. Yeah, they made it out of their hands. One of them told me he was there working on it for 3 weeks in his house, working on that boat.
Paramedics treated 13 of the Cubans, but none needed to be taken to a hospital. Border Patrol agents say the 15 who were arrested will be processed and most likely face a deportation. Floridians who want to cast a ballot in next month's midterm election must register to vote by tomorrow. The November 6th general election ballot will include statewide races for U.S. Senate, governor, and 3 state cabinet offices, along with 12 proposed constitutional amendments and congressional, legislative, and local contests. As of the end of August, there were more than 13 million registered voters in Florida. Of those, nearly 4.9 million were registered as Democrats, while there were more than 4.6 million registered Republicans. Statewide turnout for the 2014 midterm election in Florida was 51%.
This year, the interest has been big. It's looking more like a general election in a presidential year than a general election in a primary.
As of this morning, nearly 12,000 Floridians had already turned in vote-by-mail ballots. To sign up to vote or to update your existing registration, visit the website www.registertovoteflorida.gov. And Democratic gubernatorial candidate Andrew Gilliam putting his campaign on hold for 2 days ahead of the hurricane. Gilliam says he is suspending his campaign events today and tomorrow so that he can focus on storm preparations. Michael is expected to hit near Tallahassee, where Gilliam is the mayor. It is still unclear if Gilliam's GOP rival, former Representative Ron DeSantis, is also changing his campaign plans. And a reminder, ABC7 will be hosting the must-watch debate of the season for our area. The race for Congress in the 16th Congressional District is one of the highest profile races in the country. Both candidates, Republican incumbent Vern Buchanan and Democrat David Shapiro, will face off Tuesday, October 23rd on ABC7 at 7, and it will be moderated by Alan Cohn. For a chance to have Alan ask one of the candidates your question, just submit your questions to @AlanMCohn on Twitter. Well, entertainment news is coming up next, but first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Kimmel's new tonight. That's right. From ABC's The Connors, John Goodman is here.
What? Yeah. Really?
Plus K-pop sensation NCT 127 and Guillermo's on the road to Brooklyn. Yeah! Kimmel, new tonight on ABC, and all next week, Jimmy's in Brooklyn.
Blue 32, Blue 32, hot, hot. It's the Gatto Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Gatto dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Gatto location near you or visit Gatto.com.
Gatto's got it.
Hello, Mom.
Amanda's mom's appointment just got rescheduled for today. Amanda needs right at home. Our customized care plan provides as much or as little help as her mom requires, whether it's a ride to the doctor or help around the house.
Oh, of course. Tom, I am really sorry. I've got to go.
Look, call right at home. Get the right care right at home.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day?
With guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
Helping families with mesothelioma is all we do. My firm has been offering a free book on mesothelioma for over 10 years. Since that time, hundreds of people with mesothelioma have trusted us to represent them. We have local offices throughout the U.S. and there is no risk to you. Mesothelioma really is all we do. Call us at 1-800-485-6000. That's 1-800-485-6000. Or go to mesoonlylaw.com.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
In entertainment news, take a look at this cell phone video that shows the wild scene at the A3C Festival. Take a look.
Yo, I think somebody shot up the Lil Wayne concert. Yo.
Police said the headliner, Lil Wayne, was on stage when someone yelled that they heard gunshots. That's when everybody took off running in all directions. The person filming incorrectly claims that someone shot up the concert. Police and concert goers say there was some sort of argument, but no evidence to support claims that shots were fired. About a dozen people were slightly hurt in that panic. Well, Hope Hicks is joining a rebooted Fox News. Hicks will be Fox's new executive vice president and chief communications officer. That means she will run public relations along with other aspects of the television company. It's all part of assets being spun off into a smaller organization as Disney buys much of 21st Century Fox, but not the news channel. Hicks served as the White House communications director from August of last year until she resigned in February. She was one of the president's longest serving and closest aides. Before that, she worked in New York for Trump's presidential campaign as well. Well, Taylor Swift is brushing aside her usual silence on politics. Yesterday, she threw her support behind two Democrats running for Congress in Tennessee. Swift said on Instagram she used to stay away from politics, but some events over the past 2 years made her speak up. She said she wants to support candidates who fight for LGBTQ rights and against discrimination and racism. In her post, Swift also urged her young fans who have not registered to vote yet to do so. Also, President Trump tweeting about that tonight, saying that he is 25% less interested in her music. Lots of look at entertainment news. We'll have tonight's winning lotto numbers when we come back.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP is the largest locally owned CPAP supply company in the area. Is it time to replace your old equipment? The staff at Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP can show you the most up-to-date CPAP equipment and supplies to meet your sleep apnea needs, including portable travel devices and the SoClean automatic CPAP sanitizer. We serve all of Southwest Florida, giving the highest quality of care with the finest CPAP equipment. Please visit our website, sarasotacpap.com.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at nationalguard.com.
The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
Well, I know it doesn't feel like it, but here in Florida, it doesn't feel like it. Winter is coming, though. Here is proof. The famous Rockefeller Center ice skating rink open for business. It's one of New York City's most celebrated attractions, and it will be open until, I believe, after Christmas. But one of my favorite places to go when you do go to New York City. It
beautiful. Looks cool. It even looks cool. So that's nice. We're waiting for that. By the way, the next cold front long-range model suggesting something just after the 15th, a little one, and then a stronger one about 5 days later. So that'll be a good thing. John Scalzi has more on our weather tomorrow at the start of the news.
All right. Thank you so much, Bob. And thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.